everyone, I hope you're doing okay, hanging in there. As promised, I'm going to do some videos for you over the next week. I've had requests to do some flexibility training, conditioning, as well as handstands. So what I'm going to do is a video here for you that includes all of those three things. I anticipate it'll probably be about 40 minutes or so. You're welcome, of course, to stop it at any time and focus on certain movements if that's your preference, or you can follow along with me. I'm going to keep this video up so you guys can use it indefinitely. But let's get started. All you need is a yoga mat, and if you need some blocks, you can grab them for your splits training, but I'm not going to use them today. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start at the front of our mat. We're going to take an inhale, reaching up. And exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Hands to the mat, step it back, and lower it down. Exhale. Inhale, scooping up, shoulders back, and exhale, press it back. And just take a moment here to press the heels down to the floor. And let's walk back up to the front of the mat. Inhale halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching up again. Exhale, folding. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to the mat, step it back. And exhale down. Inhale. And exhale, press it back. Take a moment here, pressing the heels down to the floor again, trying not to rush. Good, let's inhale, lift the heels up. We're just going to do a slight little hop here, bending the knees, bring it forward. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, hands through heart center, halfway lift. Hands to the mat, hop or step back. Lower. Inhale. And exhale back. Okay, let's inhale the heels up. Exhale, bend the knees. The hips up. Inhale, halfway lift. And fold. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Halfway lift, and hands to the mat, hop or step back, exhale, bring it up, and press it back. Let's do one more. Inhale the heels up, gaze forward, bend the knees, hop, inhale, and fold. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Halfway lift. Hands to the mat, hop or step back. And down. And press it back. Good, let's inhale that right leg up. And exhale, step it between the hands. And let's hold on to our lunge here. Inhale, sweeping the hands up, pull that right hip back, left hip forward. And drop the hands back down to the mat. Step back with the right foot. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale, press it back. And let's inhale that left leg up. Exhale, step it through. And inhale, the hands up overhead. Pull the right hip forward, left hip back. And release the hands down to the floor. Step it back. Slowly lower down. Inhale. Exhale, press it back. Okay, let's inhale that right leg up again. And exhale, bring the knee to the wrist, setting up for your pigeon pose. Okay, so again, pulling the right hip back, left hip forward. settling into this. Okay, when you're ready, slowly walk the hands forward. Extend them out, drop the head down. Inhale, sweeping the hands alongside body, sitting up nice and tall. Okay, option here to reach the hands behind the back. Pull the hands away from the butt, rolling the shoulders back. Trying to keep that left hip as close to the mat as possible. Breathing. And release the hands, bring them down to the mat. You're going to tuck the left toes under, shoot that right leg back, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, press it back. Good, let's go on to the other side. Inhaling that left leg up. Exhale, bring it through. When you're ready, take it down. One more inhale. Sweep the hands alongside body, sitting up. Again, option to bring the hands behind the back, roll the shoulders back, chest forward. Take a few deep breaths here. And release. Bring the hands to the mat, tuck the right toes under, shoot that left leg back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up. Exhale, press it back. Okay, for the next part, we're going to practice a little bit of shoulder stability and trying to get the hips up while we're jumping forward. So what I want you to do is set up in your downward facing dog. I'm going to show you an example first. Okay, so we're going to set up. You're going to bring your gaze forward between your thumbs, bend the knees, sink the hips down, and then you're going to pump up, opening, trying to bring the feet to the outside of the wrist, and then sit it down. Okay, from here, you're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, engage the core, pop it back, trying to land in your low plank. Then you're going to press it up and then reposition. Okay, so let's try this together. So we're going to take an inhale, gaze is forward, bend the knees, exhale, bring the hips up, sit it down. Okay, from here, make sure your hands are grounded, nice and firm on the mat. We're going to keep the hips down, take an inhale, engage the core, exhale, back, and push it up and back. Okay, let's do it again. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, bend the knees, gaze between the thumbs, and up. Sit it down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, back. Press it up and back. Let's try two more. Inhale, the heels up. Bend the knees, exhale. Pop it up. Sit it down. Inhale. As you exhale, back. Push it up and back. One more time. Okay, inhale the heels up, bend the knees, pop the hips up, sit it down. Inhale, as you exhale, back, press it up. Okay, so here you can continue to do that if you want to get a little more practice in for the shoulder stability. Okay, otherwise we're going to move forward. So we're going to go into the single leg kick-ups. Okay, so hands are planted. So this is going to be some of the handstand practice that I would normally do in a handstand class. Okay, so we're going to come back up into our downward facing dog. Step the right leg forward so you're in kind of an exaggerated lunge here. Knee is going to be forward from the toes. Okay, So we're going to kick up with the back leg, push with the front leg. Okay? So popping it up, trying to keep the shoulders stable. Core is locked in. You don't have to go as high as I am. Okay, when you start, it can be little hops. That's okay. Okay, the trick to this is keeping the front knee bent in order to help with your balance on this, okay? So let's try 10 per side. I think I did about 5 or 6 there. Okay, I'm gonna do a few more. Up. Good. Okay, so if you need to finish up, of course you can hit pause. Otherwise, I'm going to go on to the other side. I don't know that I did 10, but let's just say I did. Okay, so same thing. Left leg is forward this time. Okay, you're always going to find that one side is definitely more unstable than the other side. That's okay. It's perfectly normal. Will it ever balance out? Probably not. That's all right. Okay, so this is my wonky side for sure. Okay, so left leg forward. We're going to kick with the back leg, push with the front leg. Okay, try to set up so that your shoulders are over your wrists. Okay. Breathe. I'm actually reminding myself and you at the same time. So that was 10. So you can finish yours up if you need to. You don't have to go as quickly as I am. I always tend to move a little faster so I get my heart rate up. It's a habit. I don't know if it's a good habit or a bad habit, but it definitely is a habit of mine. Okay, so take a little breather if you need to. Hit pause, grab a sip of water. We are going to continue with a little more shoulder stability and core work. So I'm already kind of out of breath here. But that's okay, that's what we're doing this for. It's easy to sit around all day, isn't it? Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is our froggy jump. So similar to what we did in the beginning, except this time we're gonna try to bring the hips up, okay? So many of you have done this with me already in my classes. It's kind of silly, but it is effective, okay? So we're gonna start with the hands planted. This time your shoulders are going to be back from your wrist. That's okay because when we pop up, we're going to align that properly. Okay, so fingers are spread, middle fingers are pointing forward. You're going to sit the hips right down to start, bringing your hands to the inside of the knees. Okay, so sitting the hips down, you're going to push up and pop. You can do this against the wall if you feel afraid of falling over. If you have somebody present that can help you, they can just kind of stand beside you and, you know, if you're gonna fall over, they can just kind of push you back the other way. A little tap on the bum. Okay, so hands are here. We're gonna pop up, toes together, knees apart. Okay, so trying to flatten the back as much as you can. Right? Just hanging out maybe. Okay, that's 2, 3. Again, you may not be going as high as I am. You may not be holding it. They may be little hops. This isn't about doing the handstand every time. It's about practicing and preparing and being comfortable with the rhythm and the pattern, okay? Setting yourself up for success over a period of time, not right away. So if it's just little, that's okay. Focus on what's happening here and what you're feeling, the muscles engaging, because that's what you need in order to do this over a long period of time. Okay, so let's do a couple more. Hopefully you were doing those while I was talking. Remember to breathe. Your quads are probably on fire. That's okay. Okay, so we're going for 10. I've lost count. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. down. Good. So take a little breather. Whew. All right. We're going to do a little bit of a flow. This again is going to help with some of the flexibility needed in order to do handstands, more for the kick-up portion of it. Okay, so we're going to start, we'll start at the front of our mat. Okay, so we're going to take an inhale up. You're going to exhale, lift that right leg up behind you. Try to stay in a straight line. Okay, now I want you to come down as far as you can, lifting that leg behind you. Hands coming to the floor, and then you can do a little kick. Okay, so we'll try to do that in one fluid motion. Okay, so hands up over the head, leg extended, bring it down. Breathing, nice and slow. If you're here and you need to plant the hands, that's okay, pick it up. Otherwise, I want you to try to maintain that nice straight line from fingertips to toes. Tipping over. Then giving a little kick up. Okay, so go ahead, we're gonna try 6 of those. That was 3 for me, so continue. Okay, so hands up overhead, nice and slow. Slight bend in the left knee, hands to the mat, kick it up, bring it back up. Okay, again, breathing. Bring it up. One more time. Hands to the mat, pick it up. Good. Okay, we're gonna go to the other side. You can feel that in the glutes for sure. Okay, so left leg is forward. Sorry, right leg is forward. We're going to extend the left leg behind, hands up overhead. Tight core. Coming forward. Hands to the mat. Kick it up. Stand it back up. A little wobbly on coming up there, that's okay. All right, so bring it down. Hands to the mat, pop it up. Whew. Here we go. Bring it down. That's 3. 4, 2 more. 5, 1 more. 6. Good. Okay, if you need to finish up, go ahead and do so. I'm going to come back down to the floor. We're going to do a little bit of split flexibility training here, now that we're nice and warm. Okay, so we're going to start with bringing the right leg forward. Okay, different variations of this. If this is comfortable for you and you don't want to go any further, or can't go any further yet, then that's okay. If you can maintain a flat back and bring the hands down to the mat, that's great, or the forearms. Okay, so whichever's more comfortable. If that right knee falls out to the side a little bit, that is okay, but you can try to squeeze it in towards the shoulder. Okay, so just settling into this, trying to focus on getting that left hip down towards the mat, really opening it up, right? So you don't want to be up here, you want to drop. So if you need to come back up for that to happen, that's okay. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit longer. We're going to be holding these poses for a little more of an extended time, just to really get into it. Okay, so we're going to go from here and we're going to extend the front leg. Okay, make sure you're pulling that right hip back and the left hip forward so that they're properly aligned, keeping the back nice and flat as well. So not here, but here. If you need to come up more with blocks or whatever you have handy, then you can go ahead and do so. But the main thing is that that back is flat and you're feeling that stretch through the front hamstring. Okay, breathing through this. Taking a little bit lower if you can. And definitely move with your breath. Hopefully you have music on that's drowning my voice out. Okay, and then we're going to take it down into a split. I'm not timing any of this, so if you want to go ahead and time it, you can pause it. I always recommend at least 30 seconds in those first two stretches we did, and then about a minute and a half here. Okay, I'm not going to have a clue how long we're holding this because I don't have a timer. So I'm just going to hang out here for a little bit. So if you want to go ahead and hit pause and grab a timer, you can do so. We can just hang out together. Okay, if this is easy for you, make sure the hips are aligned. So I see a lot of times people are like this. You always want to pull that right hip back, left hip forward when your right leg is in front. Okay, sitting up nice and straight. It is difficult to do, but with practice it'll come. You can always bring the hands up overhead. That's going to make you sink lower. I have a hard time with the extension behind my knee. So it always looks like my legs are slightly bent, but I feel like they're as straight as they could get, right? We all have our things. Okay, so settling, breathing. If you have blocks here supporting you, that's great. Does feel good to stretch. I must admit that I have not been doing any stretching of it lately. Sometimes with my private lessons, I'll do a little bit of stretching, but not on my own. Guilty. All right, so let's come out of this. So the easiest way is just to lean into that left hip and then scoop the right leg in. I meant right hip, sorry. Scoop the right leg in. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and we'll go on to the other side. So probably best to time it because again, I have no idea how long we're doing this and it is good to be consistent. That's my bad, I'm sorry for not having a timer handy. Okay, so let's start with that left leg forward. Again, having a nice flat back is what we're going for. Okay, and dropping that right hip down towards the floor. Okay, if you want to bring both hands down on the inside of the knee, you can do that. Or forearms to the floor, whichever feels comfortable. Don't try to get to a certain place just because you feel like you have to. Being lower isn't necessarily better if your form isn't correct. So form definitely is number one. And there are a lot of stretches that you can do for splits training. I find this one the most effective. That doesn't mean it's the most effective for everybody, but you know, I did not have splits when I started this journey, and this is what got me there. So it's easy. Sorry, it's not easy by any means. It's hard work. But it is easier than some of the other stretches I've been introduced to that I just find, I don't know, they hurt and I don't like it. So I stick to what I like and this seems to work for me. So I don't need anybody yanking on my legs or putting me in very uncomfortable positions just to get a split. So this is what I'm gonna stick with for now. Okay, so again, maintaining the flat back. I don't care if you're way up here, as long as the back is flat. Okay, and you should feel that stretch. If you're pointing your toes, you're not going to feel it as much, so try to flex that front foot. Okay, remember the hips, so pulling that left hip back, right hip forward. If you have any knee pain, you can definitely roll your mat or get a towel. Probably all things I should have said in the beginning. I don't do this for a living, this video stuff. Okay, so let's slide it into the split. So again, pulling left hip back, right hip forward, and just relaxing into it. And again, if you have blocks, whatever's handy, check out your form. I have a mirror behind me. You don't necessarily need a mirror, just peek back, make sure that leg's extended behind the hip and the front leg is doing the same. You're not on an angle, okay? Just try to relax. probably hear banging from upstairs. It's a constant. Okay, so just breathing. I know this position sucks, it hurts. Bring the hands up over the head. Okay, so again, I'm just guesstimating how long we're holding this. Like I said, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes is great. That's where I would start if you really want to split. If you're not down a full split, so stay where you are. If you're not down in a full split, oh man, I'm stiff. Then I want you to try to get that back leg as straight as you can first, and then start sliding that front leg out. Okay, so like this. And again, maybe you have blocks. And then you can try to reverse it. So you're going to try to push the front leg out as much as you can, sitting back on that right knee, the back knee, if that makes sense. Okay? So let's get out of this. Hopefully you were timing that. Okay, so we're going to go into a straddle stretch here. So we're going to open up into a straddle. Okay, so we're going to start bringing the left hand over to the right thigh, reach the right arm up and over, and then we're going to tip it over. Okay, so you can reach for that foot if that's available to you. Sometimes you can bend that elbow and just kind of reach here like so. Okay, so the main thing here is not allowing yourself to roll forward. You want to open that shoulder. Okay, let's inhale up. We're going to take it to the other side. So right hand to the left thigh, tipping it over, reaching for that foot if it's available. Just relaxing. Let's take it up to the center, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to walk it down, so hands in front, just walk it down as much as you can. If you can't go flat, that's perfectly okay. You can have blocks available here for you if you need them. Okay, so coming forward, and again, maintaining a flat back, that's key. Okay, so just bringing it down, relaxing, breathing. Let's slowly bring it up, so pushing your hands into the floor to bring yourself up. We're gonna go into a froggy stretch, okay? So this is for your middle splits. Not the most enjoyable posture either, but definitely helpful. Okay, so the thing here is you wanna keep your knees aligned with your hips. So you're gonna come down like so, only go as low as you can comfortably, but make sure that this is in alignment. Okay, so bringing it down, breathing. Okay, again, blocks can be handy here if you can't drop it down as low. Trying to drop the hips down, pressing the pelvis towards the mat, not comfortable. All right, let's bring the hands to the floor. We're gonna pull the feet together first and then just push back slowly, pulling the knees back in towards the center body. Now we're gonna pop it up onto the feet, coming into a standing straddle here. Okay, and then just slowly lower it down. So again, if you can only go this far or this far, that's okay. Okay, so take it down. Back is flat again. I'm not rounding out. You try to relax the head. If you want to walk the hands through the legs, you can do that as well. Okay, we are going to take this a little bit further. So this time I want you to focus on going outwards. So you're going to drop the legs out. Again, only go as far as you can comfortably, because if you drop it down too far, too fast, you may not get up. Okay, so drop it down. Try to take a look and make sure that your feet are extending out from the hip. And breathe. I still hate this one a lot. I also don't know how I feel about talking into my phone when no one's around. I don't know how people do this all day. I'll get used to it, I'm sure. All right, so again, I would recommend at least a minute here. It's a really sucky minute. All right, let's slowly press it back up. Good. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of core work now. So this is gonna get into the conditioning portion. For pole or not for pole, just for everyday life, just for having the sake of having a strong core, which is good to support your back. So we're gonna start on our backs. Okay, lay it down. Watch I don't hit my mirror here. Okay, so if you have a pole at home and you want to use your pole, you can of course bring your hands up over your head, holding onto the pole here. If you don't, we can do the exact same thing, but we're gonna bring our hands down onto the mat beside our bum. Lift your hips, lift your feet up. We're gonna pop the hips up. So this is a difficult thing to do because we're activating the lower core. So I want you to press your hands into the mat. You're gonna give a little pop up. Now when you do that, I don't want you to shoot your feet this way. So I don't want to see this, okay? I want you to keep your feet over your hips. So we're gonna pop up and then come up and crunch, okay? And then slowly lower it down. Okay, now let's try that again. So hands to the mat, pop, bring it up, and then slowly lower it down. Again, pop, up, and lower down. Up. Keep it going. Up, lower. Good, I think that was 10. I'm not sure. So I would say try to do 10 to 12 of those. Maybe if you really want to amp with your conditioning, try for 2 sets of like 10 or 12 even. Yeah, they're good, they work. Okay, so from there, let's bring it over into a plank position, because everybody knows I love planks. Okay. A hair tie would have been good too. All right. So let's take it into a plank position. Again, I don't have a timer, so I think we're just gonna move through some exercises rather than holding a plank. For your conditioning, if you want to just hold a static plank, I would say to start with 30 seconds. Add 15 seconds each time you do it, so 30 seconds, 45, a minute, until you find a place or a time that is challenging, but you're not overdoing it. So many of you are aware that I used to do a 4-minute plank every day. I found 4 minutes was like challenging, but it wasn't like, holy crap, I can't do this. At first it was really difficult, but then it got easier, and then I added a minute here and there. But anyways, let's get back to this. So we're gonna go into our plank position. And we're just gonna start with holding, breathing. Okay, then we're gonna take the right knee and we're gonna pull it up towards the nose, rounding the back slightly, pulling the belly button in. And then extend back out. Try not to set that foot down. We're just going to bring it behind us, lifting, and then pull the knee back into the nose and back out. Pull it back in and out. So I'm inhaling when my leg is extended behind, exhaling when the knee comes in. Inhale out, exhale in. Inhale out, exhale in, and set that foot down. Okay, if you need to give the arms a break, you can come down for a second, hit pause. Otherwise, let's keep moving through this. So we're going to start by taking the knee into the nose. So take an inhale, exhale, knee to nose, exhale back. Inhale, knee to nose, exhale, knee to nose, inhale back. Exhale, inhale back, exhale, inhale back, exhale. One more. And drop down. Good. Let's try to do a slow push up here while your arms are ready to give out. So we're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, all the way down. Good. Let's take your hands, slide it alongside the rib cage, and then press up. Roll the shoulders back, gazes forward. And let's slowly lower that down. Okay, so let's press the bum back to the heels, open up the knees, and come into your child's pose. So relax the head. All right, let's come back up. So I think that's where I'm going to finish this one for today. Of course, I'm going to stop recording and then be like, oh yeah, I want to do this, 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 and this. So I will write everything down. If you guys have requests for more particular stuff, please ask me. Like I said, this is one that I just kind of blended everything together. I am going to do some handstand specific, flexibility specific, and conditioning specific videos over the course of the next few days. But definitely feel free to take parts of this and focus on it more than other parts if that's what you'd like to do, and kind of create your own little conditioning and flexibility routine. Yeah, so thanks for joining me, and I look forward to doing more of these fun little videos for you. Bye guys.